The deadline in this sector for voluntary presentation at the experimental center is 6 o'clock.
You're supposed to be an artist. Use your imagination.
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm all out.
What's happening, everybody? Shelton J, Think About It Radio. I think this is show number 100, and why not just go out with a bang? I got Miss DL Harrold on the line with me tonight. Stock investor extraordinaire, startup business investor extraordinaire, and she just gonna let y'all into her life just a little bit, just a little taste. But we gonna make sure that we hit the high points. Miss Harrold, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
That's what I'm talking about. Well is better
I'm
than
doing
real
well.
bad.
Traveling, you know, I'm on the traveling field right now, so I'm doing well now.
I can dig it. Well, first of all, thank you for your time. Welcome to Think About It Radio. Yes, indeed. Now, I'm looking at all these great things you're doing out here. Now lace people up real quick, you know, since we only got a few minutes. Who is DL Harrold? What are you about? Because I said you're a stock investor extraordinaire and startup business, but I'm sure I left a whole lot of stuff out.
Well, a little bit about myself. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I come from the urban area, the West Side, Mercy Drive, you know, Pine Hill, Orange Center area. I got in investing maybe 3 years ago. However, my early 20s, when I turned 20, I started reading up on business, you know, starting a business. Man, I tried everything in the book. I started... But the thing is about the business part, you know, and the crazy thing, I learned more about business and franchises, you know, working at Subway. And it's crazy because, you know, I used to always ask questions, you know, how to start a franchise, you know, this, that, and the third. And, you know, a guy who owned his own franchise in Orlando, he owned his own Subway, and he used to always give me the answers, the feedback. Good. Or whatever. So from here on out, like, I struggled. I lost it all, and I came back, and I met an investor. And one day, I was at work, and he was like, hey, you got good customer service. You never thought about doing the stock? I said, the stock market? You know? And, you know, he gave me his business card, and he was like, hey, you know, I'll teach you. And from here on out, that's where I'm at. You know, investing, you know, talking to other people about starting businesses and companies. I'm 28, and so far I helped and mentored maybe 30 people starting their own business.
Solid. Before we get too far, how can the people get a hold of you that may need some of your services?
Well, I do more on online, like Facebook. You can holler at me on Facebook, DL Harrold, and also Instagram, the same thing, DL Harrold. Anybody inbox me, free information. Like, I feel like I don't have to charge people for the things I love because this is my passion. This is what I love to do. Yep. I'm also a notary as well. So far I done married like 3 couples. I married my best friend, Sweet. You know, last year, her husband, you know, it was a good experience. Like, I'm just putting a lot of stuff under my belt. I'm still young. And just taking one step at a time. I'm not really rushing because I had to learn, you know, to take one step at a time with everything I do. So, you know, that's pretty much it.
I like that, though, you know, because you just took charge. And one thing about people sharing information that's successful, it's a beautiful thing that they're able to deposit that into you. Because sometimes people get to a certain degree of success and they will hold on to that information with a chokehold. It's like, I got mine, get yours.
I feel like you got to be humble, you know. Yes. The thing is about it, you know, I'm to that age that I'm not a type of person that floss my money and say this is what I got. This is, you know, this is how I'm living, you know. I'm just trying to show another younger generation that it's possible, you know, especially coming out of the urban area. You know, I got big moves coming in right now. I'm just traveling around more on the Florida coast, you know, going up and down the Florida coast, you know, really talking to a lot of people about investing and starting an investment from down like the $50, you know, because a lot of people fear that they feel like they have to have so much money to invest. Yes. Yeah, you got to have, you know, the bill of portfolio is $250,000, you know, a solid portfolio. However, what about the investors who just only have $50? So basically what I'm doing is basically taking out my time, and it's something I love to do, even when it comes to business. So when you're talking about investing, you think about real estate, start your own business, or you talk about the stock market. And the thing is about it, with the business, starting the business, I give information about that because that's another investment way. And then the stock market and investing with dividends and having monthly income coming in, that's a blessing. But the thing is, it's all about time. You if you want to set yourself to be successful, you got to hang around successful people.
Say it again.
So
Say it again.
And the thing is about it, it's so much going on. What's going on out here, you know what's going on. It's a lot of hate crimes and stuff like that, but you got to keep pushing. You really got to keep pushing. You got to just put yourself in a zone that you want to succeed, whatever we go through and how we go through. So I've been talking to a lot of people from international. Shout out to South India, Haiti, the UK, the people I deal with over there, and also, South India.
That's good. That's what's up.
South India, even in California, people showing me love in California, Atlanta, Chicago, Florida, Houston. Houston. I'm on a radio station on Houston.
H-Town.
So my goal is to really touch souls all around the world. So I'm still young, so you know what? I'm not even in a rush because I'm building a legacy. So it's going to take time, and what I'm doing it for the rest of my life.
That's what it's about. Man, it's an app that I was looking at today, the Robinhood app. I'm liking that app because it doesn't cost anything. And I like Stash is okay, but that Robinhood is like you get more options. You can choose individual stocks. And so I'm really digging that app. I was like really engrossed in that today, just studying that. Yeah.
What I do is I also, the people who, when I started off with E-Trade, like I said, I've been investing for 3 years. Another thing, when I found out about Robinhood, I liked about Robinhood that they don't have any commission.
Yes.
So that's also another outlet that people can also invest their money into. You kind of get where I'm coming from, even if it's, I think it's, $20, but I don't want to say 20. I don't want to give false information. But I know if you have it under like $100, maybe $50 or whatever to start off. And when people ask me how to invest or what should I do, I tell them, listen, I can't tell you what stock to invest in because I'm not a stockbroker. And that was one of my goals a couple of years ago. They were like, you want to be a stockbroker? What's going on? But I realized that I'll still have to work for somebody to, be a stockbroker. So I say, you know what, I'm just going to take this investment part, another thing to another step. And I have mentors that, believe in my vision and, going to different courses with economics, buying and selling companies, steps to this, buying and selling companies, buying big Fortune 500 companies, and meaning outstanding people. My life, if somebody would have told me this 3 years ago when I was just turned 25, I heard some shocking news that really just, I felt like my life was going to be over. But the thing is, somebody would have told me 3 years later, hey, this what you'll be doing, I would have been like, wow. So, it's all a blessing, everything a blessing, and that's what it's all about. And the thing is about it, bless others with your talent. Some people listen, some people don't. But I don't get mad and say, oh, you should have did this. No. I feel like if you came to me, that means I'm putting the right message out because you coming to me about business or the stock market.
Exactly.
One or the other. And my goal is to help, like I said, reach out to different people. I'm not done. I'm just getting started. I got years to go. I'm just getting started. It
sounds like you're just very excited about what you're doing, and I love what you're doing. I love the passion that you have and the information that you share. Because one thing about it that in our communities, we don't have these kind of conversations enough because we don't feel like we have the thousands of dollars to invest or whatever. And so that's what I like, the fact that there's so many different options out there. As you said earlier, you don't have to have a whole bunch of money. Just start somewhere. So what would you tell those that are fear of the stock market, that has a lot of fear and just so misunderstanding, because there is a lot of information out there, so what would you tell those that just did this, oh man, this stock market, I'm scared of that? What would you tell those people that kind of fear it though?
If you're scared, stay home.
Ha!
If you're scared, stay home.
Hold on, that's shots fired right there.
That's all I have to say about that, because the thing is about it, you win and you lose. Either way you go, you know. I try to focus on more of long term. I'm not a trader. I'm not a day trader, you know.
True.
So I like my money to last long. Baby.
Yeah, it would say long. I want that long, strong money.
This that Florida talking, baby. I like my money to last long.
Oh,
that means I want to invest for the long run.
For the long
run. When I look back, I'm 40 years old, and I sit back and say, well, okay, I want to go buy an island, you know, and you know, take that and do whatever. You know, it's more things to it. You know, when you talking about investments, there's so many things about investing. You can go forex trading, day trading. You know, you got the stock market. You got the Bitcoin coming out. You got the cybercoin. You got all this coming out. But the thing is about it is, it's all about discipline. Exactly. You got to learn how to discipline yourself, because if I'm investing to the stock market, say if I had a job or something like that, I tell anybody, listen, you don't have to spend your whole paycheck. Put $20 aside.
Say,
you know, put that $20 to the side, and you know you could do a little something, because anything can happen.
It adds
up.
You
know, anything, but it add up as well. Like that, like somebody they take your 401k out your money. I mean, money out your paycheck for 401k. So discipline yourself to put money up. You want to buy you a house. You want to buy whatever you want to do, and then when you start early, you know you got so much ahead of you. Like. First to say, oh, you still in your 20s, you still got a lot to live, like, and that's how I know it's patience, because this a legacy I'm building.
Yeah,
you know,
45 this month, and it's still, you know, trying to get over there, making it, you know, still pushing forward, learning new lessons every day. So it don't stop. It doesn't stop.
I'm gonna put it like this: everybody have their own walk of life.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Everybody different. And the way we was raised, everybody raised different. You know, I see if I was in a up class high school, they would have taught me more about entrepreneurship. But it took me to my 20s to understand, hey, I want to be a business owner. I want to start my own business. You know, and at first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I looked at it and say, oh wow, the flashy cars, you know, the big houses, and you still got to think about it. You still got to put in work to get all what you want. But the key word is, what's liability and asset?
Know the difference.
You have to know the difference. So now my mind, the older I get, the wiser I become.
That's beautiful.
So I looked at the big houses and the big cars and sit back and say, well, damn, I'm buying all this liability. I need to start investing in my mind and bring value to my mind and bring assets to me so that my money could continue to grow. You know, and I always tell a person, 2020, I'll be a millionaire. Oh, you know, that's something I know. You know, ask, believe, receive. So the thing is, I feel like God put this skill in me to control my own money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So with that being said, is, you know, you don't have that Hollywood. You don't have to do much. You know, flossing and flashing. You don't have to do much, because the thing is, as long as you know how your money working, that's all that matters.
Bottom line, it's your business. That's why they call it your business, and you need to handle it.
Yeah, you have a lot of them coming out, you know, and especially entrepreneurs and new business owners coming out. Shout out to all my people, you know. Shout out to all of them who doing their thing, and they really doing their thing, and I'm proud of all of them, you know. Too. Another thing, I tell them, listen, it's hard, you know. The business world is hard, but you got to love it. You got to love what you do, because plenty of days you go, no money. You know how many times I used to sit on the toilet reading about business and messed up so many times.
Yeah.
Messed up. So, come to bed, Carl. He was like, oh, come to bed. You've been working on it too much.
Yeah.
But the same person used to tell me you working on it too much. I had to realize years later, you can't put too much in it.
Nope.
And I learned more of my knowledge picking up a book than going to a college.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy. But I picked up a book, bro, and I read. I read every day. I used to be at work reading. Everybody, oh, you going to college? I'm like, no, I ain't in college. but I read it.